Welcome, viewers. This is the Treasures of Life show, your home of energy. My name is Jonah Simba. How have you been? Treasures of Life show comes to you every Wednesday here on Science TV, your inclusion platform. Just in case you miss it on your TV, you can go to YouTube, Science TV, get in there and get our shows there. Thank you for your feedback on 0111 980384. Many of you start with the word treasures. You help me a lot to sift through your messages. Just start with the word treasures so that you make it easy for my team here to just read your messages and give me a feedback on what you're saying about this show. Keep on watching. Thank you for following me on my own socials, Blind Jonah Simba, Facebook and TikTok. Nawaona sana. Keep on following. We are here for one another. Remember, we energize each other. And that is precisely why I'm back with a guest, back with a bang. We have a banger today with none other than a counselor. I call her my psychologist. Sarah Mburu, karibu sana. Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, actually, good evening.
Good evening, Joshua.
Yes. By the way, I'm Jonah. And hey, karibu, this is Science TV. I encourage you to lift your voice. Hey, karibu, hii studio inafurahi sana kuwa na wewe leo. So shout to these people. Just greet them. I give you a go ahead. Okay. Say a word of two.
Good afternoon.
Actually, it's evening.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Mburu. I am a counselor by profession and also an educator. And I'm a mother, married to Moses Bolo, and a mother of young adults, 2 girls, 2 boys, and a grandmother. And I'm passionate for counseling. I'm a passionate counselor for teens and youth coach, and also I do the family and therapy and premarital counseling in the church setting.
Wow.
And I'm so glad to be at the Science TV and to have this program with my colleague Jonah. So
wow.
Thank you.
Wow, karibu sana. Our sign language interpreter is, guess who? Wanjangete. Yes, we are talking about an interesting topic today, spiritual abuse. Have you ever heard of the word spiritual abuse, Sarah?
Yes, I've heard
spiritual
about spiritual
abuse.
Yes, not very common, but currently in the Christian setting,
you know,
issues that are coming up.
Issues that are coming up. Actually, precisely last week, there was a running call. There was some kind of, voice around the country. This show is coming from Nairobi, Kenya. Just in case you're watching this on an international platform, we are in the nation of Kenya. So there was some cry last week, some voice, some pastors, some leaders in the church religious sector came together, and they were talking about regulating, the faith, because they thought a few people had gone overboard. And that explains why we are talking about this topic today. Is there something like spiritual abuse, Sarah? Maybe just go ahead and tell us. Is there something like that? Does it exist? Because we are a very independent nation. People are very independent. Can someone really delve into my faith issues and try to tell me what to believe in and what not to believe in? Probably just try and shed a light on this.
I want to say that this is a critical issue, much as we acknowledge the role of the church in the society, in families, and also in our nation, the role they play on matters of spirituality and religion. But to some extent, currently, depending on the issues that are rising up, when people are not involved or well discipled, there is a likelihood of abuse, or whereby people may go beyond boundaries, and particularly for people who are not aware or who are not well informed on spiritual matters. And the church has a role to disciple.
The church has a role to disciple.
To disciple, and also every individual has a freedom of worship, but there should be some structures that check on how matters of the church are run, or some form of governance on how the matters of the church are run, even in looking at the current issues that are rising up.
Great. I attended a function a week ago, and this function had Christians. You know, there were children. Many of them were children. I've heard you've dealt with children. You're a mother. And there were so many of them, hundreds of children from different schools and different settings. Amongst them were Muslims. Yes, amongst them were Muslims. And I remember after that function, there were some goodies that were being given. Actually, they were being given basketballs, you know. You know basketballs? I'm trying to see you with your voice. So they were being given basketballs, and interestingly, I was struggling to really follow through the function. Guess who came to me after that function, Mburu? It was a Muslim boy. A Muslim boy is the one who came to me with the basketball. Many of the Christian children were so happy with their balls, they forgot that they had amongst them a blind person who was not really quite interactive. Does it say something? Because from what you're speaking is that the Christian religion, from the way I know, is a religion of love. Am I right?
Yes.
It's a religion of fellowship. Am I right?
Yes.
It's a religion where you care for the other person.
Yes.
And I thank God I was in that function. It was brought together by pastors. But who came to me? Who interacted with me? It was a Muslim boy. And he went ahead and brought to me his mother to even interact with me further. Does that say something about where we are at? Have we forgotten the principles of Christianity? Should we take our religions, including the Muslim religion, the Hindu religion, and all these religions that we are in as a country, back to that place of care for one another? Kindly, just shed a light on this.
What I can comment about that issue is that the Bible talks about true religion that reaches out to the poor, the needy, and the widow, and the community issues. So the church has a role, and every religion has a role. Also in the Bible, Jesus said that you love him with all your heart and all your mind, and love your neighbor. So about the issue of love, every religion has a role to play.
Yeah.
And also about charity, reaching out to the needy, is the role of every community. Even at home, when people in the rural areas, when people have needs, does not matter which religion you belong to. So every religion has a role when it comes to the social issues and even reaching out to communities. But we are challenged at times when it comes to issues of charity.
Okay.
Yeah, but we know there are also Christian churches that are doing very well, who have set up children's home, who will go and reach out. Also, even over the Christian holidays, they reach out to communities.
Okay.
But I think every religion needs to play their part. And also, when it comes to social needs, I think there is room for unity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can my religion tell me not to go for healthcare or for education? Is that Am I independent to choose on the faith that I want, such that it can advise me not to go for education, not to go for how far can religion go in touching on my personal life? Can it stop me from accessing some of these vital services?
I want to say that in our nation, Kenya, we all understand that the education sector was empowered through Christianity. We know that most of the missionaries started schools, some of these prestigious schools like Alliance,
Right.
and some of those settings. But there are other religions, I know even some of them are traditional religions or religions in the rural areas that may advise people wrongly. But I think in our nation, every child or every individual has a right to education.
Yeah.
And even those who advocate for healing spiritually, I think the role of the doctors is key. When we read the Bible, we know somebody like Luke was a doctor.
Okay.
And even when Jesus healed people, he told them to go and I remember a place where he said, go and see the priest.
Yeah.
So where the issues of spirituality can misguide people not to go to school, or have young people who are not aware, or youth spending so much time in religious matters, not having balance, that is not good, because everyone has a right to education, and also a right to be attended to when they are sick.
Okay.
We don't have to remove people from hospitals that there are miracles. I think in crises, that is not good, because there is the role of the doctor, there is the part of the spirituality.
Right.
And I think even when people are in hospitals, the pastoral teams are allowed to go and pray for them. They have a right to attend to them, to take the services to those places.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your experience with the youth currently, are the youth pro-spiritual issues or are they anti-spiritual issues? Because I've heard you're a counselor, especially of the youth, teens, from the description of what you do. I've also heard that you're a mother of young people. This tells me something. Are we currently experiencing a youth that is pro-spirituality or anti-spirituality? Compared, of course, to the 80s and 70s. And you've given me a go-ahead, by the way. Before the show, you allowed me to say you're 60 and above?
Just turned 60.
Yes, you gave me a go-ahead to say
it's
that.
Fine. It's okay.
Yeah, so tell me, where are we at currently, especially with the upcoming generation? Are we a spiritual, are our populace really spiritual, or are they anti-spiritual?
What I can say currently that is you have had above 50. At my age, when we were growing up, going to church was not a choice. You had to go with your parents or your grandparents, and you had to attend Sunday school. And also, I have encouraged my young children from primary to high school to go to church and attend what is required of them as a parent, because it's my role to train them up with Christian values. But at a particular stage or age, you may not force them. Currently, according to my view, we have a percentage of youth who are passionate for the things of God or issues of Christianity or religion. But also, comparing that we are in a digital era since COVID, we find that we may not be able to account for all the young people who are going to church, or because most of them will say that they are watching online, or they will follow up, or if they are working,
Right.
and they may say they'll watch later. But I think the physical presence is very important.
Okay.
But we can say to some extent, we have a percentage who are passionate, but I think a big percentage we cannot really account whether they are following. But as parents, we need to find out or be accountable, because also matters of spirituality is not about going to the physical church. It's about a heart relationship. Yes.
You know, it's amazing that when we had the story about the Chakama Ranch around Shakahola and all that, some of the bodies that were found there were of young people. Does this tell you something, Sarah? Can the youth also be misled into spiritual abuse? Can they be spiritually abused? Or do you describe this as the high rate of unemployment? Are there some troubles in the society amongst the youth that they can be spiritually abused, such that they find solace on something beyond them, beyond measure? I mean, what explains you finding bodies of young people at the Chakama Ranch?
What I can say that every individual, whether it's youth or children or mature people, there is a need for significance. There is a need to find purpose, or even there is a vacuum that can only be filled by the word of God, or there are different people who subscribe to other religions. And therefore, in their search for matters of spirituality, because we have the part of our souls or spiritual matters, if they are not well equipped, they may find themselves misled or find themselves in tricky positions. And therefore, even when it comes to matters of prayer and fasting, they need to be under sound leadership and find out the foundation of such ministries.
Right.
Of the sound leadership or structures in our church. And there should be accountability or proper mentorship and discipleship. Yes.
How far should I go in my faith in issues of education, healthcare, and probably even country? Can my religion dictate my education levels? Or even however far I can go in my nationality?
I don't think our religion can limit us to pursuing our education, because each one of us needs to be aware that every individual needs to be whole. We need wisdom, we need the knowledge to pursue a certain career development. There is also the part of the spirituality where you combine the matters of faith, maybe to pursue that career development.
Right.
And therefore, we cannot see that just religion is that which, it's not just religion or Christianity that can assist you. When you look at the Bible, I think from my study or in theology, the scientists used to measure to balance the things they did with the Bible, or some of the people, even some of these nations that brought us faith, they are the best developed, bringing us best technology. I think they have had to pursue higher levels of education.
By the way, that may inform my next question to you. If you go to Rwanda, which I've been to before, the question is, in that country, you have to have some form of, qualification, either a certificate, a diploma, or even a degree, or, whichever level, but you need training for you to be a pastor or to lead a congregation of people. Should we introduce the same in Kenya for all religions? That, let's say, if your religion is Hindu, you have to understand that theology of the Hindus, or if your religion is Christian, you have to have some kind of theology, or if you're Muslim, you have to have attained some kind of training in that religion. Do you think we should introduce some form of qualification, especially in the Christian sector in this country, since Kenya is a Christian nation? Or is it a secular? It's a secular country, but it's made of very many religions, right? So to curtail, what's your opinion? Should we bring in that form of, demand in our policies?
What I can say is that in every career, even in the Christian setting,
yes,
matters of the region, I say that there is room for career development. We acknowledge that there are people God will raise, or people be raised by faith, and they need to be mentored, where they sit under experienced people, and they are taught how to do ministry, how to relate to people,
right,
how to account for the funds. But also with the current issues that are rising up,
yeah.
I think there is room.
We are about to wind up.
There is room for education, or to be empowered, whether
yes,
through theological college or through mentorship by people who are experienced, so that you are aware, particularly in urban setting, you cannot be reaching out to people who are professors and you don't know how to make sermon, you don't know current issues that you need to handle.
Yeah,
you need a lot of information and wisdom.
that's true.
Yeah.
You've mentioned very key words there. Love being here every Wednesday with you here on your inclusion platform. I look forward to meeting you every Wednesday. And on YouTube, Science TV, energizing you and you energizing me is the joy of my work. It's the joy of my life. My name is Jonas Simba. This is the Treasures of Life show. We are talking about spiritual abuse. Give me your views on 0111980384. Our sign language interpreter is Wanja Ngete. You can also give me your views on my socials. Yeah, my social media, my social platforms, Blind Jonas Simba, Facebook and TikTok. Sharing energy is our thing here. And I brought you Sarah Mburu. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Yes, Sarah Mburu is a counselor. I call her my psychologist. She's a counselor, especially to teens and youths. We are talking about spiritual abuse. What's your opinion as you watch this show today? What's your opinion on spiritual abuse? Now, Sarah Mburu,
Yes.
let me ask you a question. Many of the people watching us also may be disabled, physically challenged, people without sight, probably like me, people who are deaf. They are following this through Wanja Ngete on the sign language interpretation. We are talking to people probably who are on wheelchairs as they are listening. Obviously, when you are talking about spirituality, if I hear that there is some miracle happening in a certain church, I will rush there. Who doesn't want to see? I was seeing before, If I hear that there is a provision of hope in a certain religion, I will rush there. To what extent can I go in believing for my miracle or for my hope in life? Am I cursed for being blind?
Thank you, Jonah.
Someone is telling me to ask you to raise your voice. Yeah, go on. Sorry for cutting you short.
Thank you, Jonah.
Yeah.
We want to acknowledge that all of us, God has given us a chance, and when even to be whole, and even when we have the special groups of people who may be physically impaired, or even in the area of sight or seeing, or even mobility, that there is a room for them to believe and to have hope. The society has a role even to engage them, to embrace them, and also to provide facilities at home, in the churches, and also in the media. Today we see the interpreters in the churches, also in public gathering. I think we have a role to embrace the special group of people, that they can be part of the society and they may feel loved and have hope to participate, just like the others who are equally able to see or even to walk. Or even if there are those that cannot move to their places of worship, we have a role to take the services to them, or even visit them, so that they can feel part of the family or part of the community.
What is your opinion about those who say that persons with disabilities are cursed?
I can say we are all gifted in all our areas, and we need to be, as a counselor, our work is to empower and give hope and give significance, or make them feel part of the community. Nobody chooses to be born blind. Nobody chooses to be deaf or even to be physically impaired. And as parents or families, even when we have these children, we should remove the stigma. We should not reject them. And also, the education facilities should make sure that they allow this kind of people to go through the systems of education by providing the necessary equipment or the opportunities for them to feel that they belong.
How far should I go in believing for my miracles? So maybe let me ask you, do miracles happen? Do you believe in miracles?
Yes, I believe in miracles. I'm a Christian. And according to the scriptures in the Bible, Jesus called out for people who are physically impaired, or even the bride, and he healed them. But there is also room for medical examination and follow-up. But there is also, we cannot rule out the role of the medical technology and the wisdom, even in our healing. But miracles do happen.
Have you seen anyone get a miracle?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're speaking from a point of information.
Yes.
Okay. Now, my question would be that in the current dispensation right now, if you go to some of the Christian meetings, remember the word is some, not all of them, you find there is a section for people with disabilities, those who have needs, you know. Of course, the most pronounced need may be a disability. What do you have to say about that?
As in most of the Christian setting or the places where people gather,
yes, you would find they would put people with the special needs somewhere so that when the miracle comes, it lands there.
I don't think that is the main aim of putting such a section from my view, I think perhaps is to make them be able to assess or have mobility, because I've seen in most of the churches they even provide a place where somebody with a wheelchair can move comfortably.
Okay.
But I don't, in my view, I don't think that is the case unless people, other ministries that may have their own views. But from where I've attended, I don't think that would be the aim, and I've not seen it in the places I've been attending, a place set for the special groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you believe in giving? Do
Yes.
religions are a place for giving? Am I right?
Yes, I believe in giving.
How far should I go? Can I buy a miracle?
You cannot buy miracles, but we give in the church because the work of evangelism or any work in the church,
Yeah.
there are people working there who need to be paid, and also the facilities where people are renting. This is the church institution is an institution like any other, so the people working there need to be paid, and it's from the biblical standards. Then you can give to support the work of the church.
Can I sell my house, my property? Can I sell? How far can I go? Can I sell my car, my house? Yeah.
I think we need to understand the biblical principles of giving. That there is the tithe, which should be 10% according to the Bible in Malachi, and
Right.
there is also the offering, and there is also money for development. If there are projects, you decide on yourself how much to give, depending on the information, or you should be aware of have proper financial guidance.
Okay.
From the Bible or from whatever religion you're working from.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also believe in fasting and prayer?
Yes, I believe in fasting and prayer.
How far can I go in fasting and prayer? Can I fast to heaven?
No. Even when Jesus fasted, I think Jesus is divine. But fasting, there are different kinds of fast, and people, when they engage in prayer and fasting, they need to be taught. So they need to be taught how to fast. So if you are doing a long fasting, maybe more than a week, and you are having medical issues, or you cannot just fast on dry or without water, without food. So you need medical guidance.
Okay.
And also the church should not just tell people to fast blindly. They should help them understand what is fasting. And
Okay.
it is important for spiritual knowledge.
Some of the youth who are found in Shakahola, believed that when you fast and you die in the process of fasting, you go straight to heaven. Is there such a thing, like almost quote unquote doing a suicidal thing for you to go to heaven?
What I can say is that the Bible says that if you lack wisdom, you ask for wisdom. Even on matters of spirituality, we don't have to be ignorant. We have our conscience, we have the instincts that tell us this is right and wrong. Even before we are saved, we have the conscience that tells us. But when it reaches to that stage where you cannot, your conscience is not alert, I think that is not actually the right thing to do. Wrong. From my understanding.
Yes.
Because there is only one supreme God who created heaven and earth. But people have their own views concerning spirituality.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I guess it's wrong.
You feel
As a
it's wrong.
Christian.
Because religion embraces fellowship. It doesn't matter what religion that is, whether it is Islam or Hindu or Christianity, whichever denomination you go to, whether it's Catholic or Pentecostal, Protestant, there is some form of fellowship. How you conduct that fellowship, can it be abused? Can we lock ourselves somewhere and say we don't want an interaction with the rest of the world? We are here, right in the middle of a forest. I mean, it's faith. Is there anything wrong with that? On issues of fellowship, how far can we go? Can we be blocked from interacting with the rest of the world? Can we be stopped from, can religion dictate that?
Any religion that dictates seclusion, I would say needs to be evaluated, because we are social beings. And even when we come to fellowship on matters of faith, the book of Acts talks about where people gather together, they share and they fellowship, whether in their word, and where there is seclusion, there is a question about that. And extreme religions or things that may be taking place in the name of maybe Christianity or biblical matters that somebody may have taken upon themselves to interpret in their own ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Does witchcraft and sorcery exist?
I can say it exists because it's mentioned in the Bible.
Is it some form of spiritual abuse?
I think African communities or other, even in the West, we have heard of things that do not align with the biblical principles.
Yes.
Yeah.
They don't align with the biblical principles, but they are matters of faith. Because in the Kenyan Constitution, you are free to have faith. How far can I go as a traditionalist, for example? I mean, sorry, proceed.
From my Christian view, as a Christian,
yes,
we matters of faith, from my view, I evaluate matters of faith depending on the biblical principles. As somebody who has been exposed to theological knowledge,
okay,
and I've studied the Bible, and the scriptures are the basis for which we judge matters of life or family, and also matters related to fellowship, family relationships, and even governance.
Okay. So, in your opinion, there's a problem in someone embracing some form of, how do I call it, sorcery or witchcraft to advance themselves spiritually?
Yes, they have a problem according to my knowledge and my understanding. As I said, my views. But people have a right to be empowered and to know the truth, because there are some things that sets us free there. People should be educated and be told to evaluate. People should be able to evaluate.
Okay.
What are the results of this side and the other one?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm almost laughing. This is a very interesting show, because I'm trying to pull this out of a theologian, because I know people that are watching are all religions. By the way, some of the people watching are atheists. Do you know who an atheist is?
Yes.
Some of them are in these many, many religions, and they are watching us. And they are all experiencing spiritual abuse. It's in the Christian setting. It's in all religions, forms of extremism and all that. I don't know what you have to say about hate in religion, jealousy in religion. Does it exist in the Christian religion? Is there malice in religion? Is there strife in religion? Is this competition between ourselves that is pushing us to spiritual manipulation? I don't know what your opinion is about that. Can someone be a Christian and still operate in hate, operate in malice, in strife? Is there gossip in churches? Is there mudslinging? Is there character assassination in the Christian religion, now that you say you're a Christian? And is it some form of spiritual abuse? Can someone go to church and get de-energized instead of getting energized?
I can say that any institution, they say the church or any Christian gathering or any religious community, consists of people, consists of individuals who may be wounded, or who in that relationship you may find people may feel rejected depending on their race or status. But when people come there, they're coming for hope or for love, or to be for their spiritual needs to be met. But because it's a setting where there are several people, there is a likelihood in every gathering, in every fellowship, they can find that there are those who are positive. There are others who may come there with different motives. They are looking for love, and others are wounded. And sometimes the expectations may not be met, and they may end up giving negative or criticism, but give negative information. But in any gathering where there is one or two, there is room for such vices, positive and negative things. But because it's a community of people,
right.
Even in a family setting, those things are there, or even in our everyday relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that there can be negativity within religion. Don't you think that's
I'm
what?
saying what I can say, that when we assess, we always look at the strength. There is something positive in the church or in any community gathering for religious purposes, but there is always a likelihood of also negative energy, but where people are wounded or people come with their unrealistic expectations, or they feel that this is the way things should be done, and we are all different personalities.
According to you, are there genuine marks of a genuine faith, like the carrying of a genuine cross? Are there marks of a genuine person who is pulling the yoke according to your Christian religion? A genuine mark of someone who is rewarded genuinely and not gaining material gain negatively and taking advantage of the situation. What's your opinion about the genuine marks of a genuine faith? How does someone identify that this religion or this faith is genuine? Because it is said that religion is like opium. You know, opium is like some form of addiction. You get it? Yeah. It's some kind of drug. Now that you're a psychologist, you understand me very well. You know, when you come to matters religion, it is a very internal thing. I'm the one who dictates how far I go. And sometimes I don't want to be questioned on my issues of faith. So how do I identify that this is a genuine faith as I wind up, as we wind up?
I think as I have said,
Yeah.
on my part as a Christian, there are genuine marks that as you grow, depending on your background, you're able to grow to understand how to read the Bible, to pray for yourself, just like the physical growth. You're able to understand the Bible more. You are able to be mentored to the extent you are able also to discern what is right and wrong, and also to be able to judge what you want. But there are those boundaries. I may not talk about other faiths,
Yeah.
because I've grown up as a Christian, but one should be able to see marks of growth in that they're able to grow to the extent they can be able to mentor others and to disciple others. Like you can be able to memorize a verse or read prayer.
Okay.
Or be given a microphone and preach, or also
Actually,
mentor your family.
We are actually winding up. But there's one question that I wanted to really ask you as we were winding up the first half. Maybe as you wind up, in 1 minute,
Yeah.
do we have genuine prophetic care in this generation? Do we have genuine pastoral care? Or are we getting spiritually abused? In 1 minute.
I believe we have genuine pastoral care as long as you belong to a community of believers. And even when, even in cases where you don't belong to a community of believers, where you are accountable to the pastor or where you are a member, back there in the villages, you find that the churches are available. People share even other, like today when you go to the village, there are an issue, all the churches come together to meet the needs of that family, even those who don't go to the churches, to Christian communities.
Our time is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, our time is gone. That has been Sarah Mburu, counselor. Thank you. We shall bring you again to shed more light, Sarah.
Thank you, Jonah. It's been a good time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all the time we had for you today. My name is Jonah Simba. Our sign language interpreter has been Wanjang Ethe. Give us your views on 0111 980384. Follow us on YouTube, Science TV. Get me on my private platforms, Blind Jonah Simba, Facebook and TikTok. And let's energize ourselves. See you next week on the Treasures of Life show. Bye-bye.
Bye.